Good evening, ladies and gents. We're gonna be playing some Total War Warhammer 3 tonight at these very early hours of the morning. Gonna be playing Be'lakor with his Shadow Legion. Using his one faction effect, the human lords can be corrupted, to build us our own little narrative while we're playing him. We're gonna go down into the human realms and corrupt as many lords as we can into demon princes to build up an army of demon spawn to go up into the chaos wastes and conquer all of the other chaos factions, proving that Be'lakor is the one and only ruler of all of the chaos wastes, and proving that he no longer needs the chaos gods anymore, and he is going to surpass them by conquering the mortal realm where all other chaos champions have fallen or failed or what have you. Gonna be using the defeated legendary lords mod to hopefully pick up as many of the chaos oriented lords as possible to also bolster his demon prince army. I'm not 100% sure how the mod totally works. I have to get in there and really tinker with it, but worst comes to worst, all we're able to recruit is the Warriors of Chaos Lords, which that still gives us a nice array of legendary lords. But I'm hoping that you can get some of the demon lords, so you can get like Scarbrand and Epidemus and the others. But if we can't get them, it's not a big deal. All we need is Be'lakor. He's the one and true demon prince anyways. Editor me from the future. I actually started messing with the mod for the legendary lords, and I haven't found a way that you can customize it at all. I found where you can turn it on and off. I might be just too dumb and I'm missing where you can tweak it, or maybe it's a separate mod to allow you to tweak them. I'm not real sure on how all that works. If anyone does know how to tweak it to adjust what lords we could get after they're defeated, do let me know in the comment section, because it would be really nice to add to the campaign. Enough delay, we'll hop in and see what our starting effects are. We're going to be starting with some Chaos Warriors, some Demonettes of Slaanesh, Bloodletters of Khorne, Plague Bearers of Nurgle, a couple Marauders, some Pink Horrors of Tzeentch, some Spawn of Tzeentch, and some Spawns of Slaanesh. The devastating flanker on them seems really good, but they're more or less cavalry, so I'm probably going to get them killed fairly early on in the campaign, so we'll see how long they stick around. And his faction effects, human lords can be corrupted and become demon princes when defeated in battle or targeted by hero actions. This is the effect that a lot of our roleplay is going to be using. I believe from gameplay that I've seen, your best bet for actually getting the corruptions is by using the heroes, so we'll probably just pump out a handful of heroes and just scatter them off into the human realms. Start spreading our brand around. Because if you're trying to beat them in a battle, you can always make sure the lord escapes, but unless you're planning on pulling out of the region, the army is probably going to clash with you again, and you're probably going to accidentally kill them, or at least it used to be when they fought a battle, it would give them more turns on their brand, so you're just never going to actually get the brand to expire to get them to transform. So I think it's going to be easier to just send some agents out pick them up, and then we'll go into the edges of the mortal realm, do some raiding, some sacking, to build up income to foster our war efforts. And he also starts with all Chaos God gift slots and a negative 25% for upkeep of demon units. That's rather nice with the gift slots, with the upkeep, because I do believe about your best bet for getting the demonic units is from the Chaos gifts. Of course, I'm not real familiar with how the Warhammer 3 Warriors of Chaos works, so I could be wrong on that. And then his Lord effects, all authority +2 for Lord's army. I'm not real sure how the authority system works. I know you get bonuses for having a higher authority and things. Bellacor's army, I believe, gets the most benefits for the undivided units, which we may keep his army semi-undivided. We'll see how that plays out. And then his ability, he gets to start with Shadow Shroud with that plus 60% damage resistance, which is just phenomenal at making him tanky, because I believe most of his defense stats are kind of crap. But he's a beast outside of that, so he needed a weakness, and this gives you a nice little counter for it. We'll be starting up on this island. We'll probably push into the Norskin area and vassalize as many of these as we can to give us some income, plus give us some backing for our army, so we can set them to target things to keep pressure off of the black fortresses we decide to keep. We'll be coming down in, getting our Demon Prince army, and then we'll come up here, probably take out 90% of this to build up our chaos horde that we plan to rain destruction down on to the Empire. We'll eventually send some troops over towards Cathay, and then obviously we need to take out the elves on this isle. Most of what I've played of the third game has been up in the Chaos Wastes in the Empire, so I'm not real familiar with any of the rest of the map, but with this campaign, it'll probably be a domination victory by the end of it, where we're destroying pretty much everyone that is not us. So we'll get to explore the whole map together. I'll give you guys the lore page so you guys can all take a minute to read it if you're interested in it. I am a horrible reader, as you will see in the gameplay when I'm reading out the dialogue screens, so I won't torture you with that. But I believe that covers everything, so we'll be diving into the campaign. With an ill-defined border, the north of Kislev is barely distinguishable from Troll Country and the tundra beyond. The threat from Norska in the northwest is constant for the land stalked by all manner of grotesque monsters and savage madmen. An infertile ground as hard as iron, howling winds that cut like daggers of purest cold, a network of fjords and mist-shrouded inlets weather the Norskin coast. And it is here that the Northmen tether the longships which they terrorize the shores of the known world. Many will be bowing beneath us, and we will be sending them to descend upon the Empire. Keep them nice and busy while we grow our demonic forces in the background. I really hope with his Chaos Rift system, we're gonna send agents out to give us vision to just dot the landscape with our Chaos Rifts, so when we're ready to invade, we can pour into strategic points and take out key cities from our enemies before they can really rally to come back with a counter-offensive.
There is no escape from the Dark Master.
drifting off here. How they play. The Shadow Legion. Collect souls of the mortal factions throughout your campaign for sacrifice to the Dark Gods in return for faction-wide boons granted by Gifts of Chaos. Erect dark fortresses across the north and vassalize the local tribes as you conquer the Norscan homeland capitals to establish your centers of power. Instantly muster warband units into your armies from your lord's localities to quickly build your military might. Upgrade units into more powerful forms while devoting them to your chosen god to grant them Dark Authority army bonuses. Ascend characters through passive glory to devote them to specific gods and progress lords towards eventual demonhood. I've played a little bit of the Warriors of Chaos in the second game. I quite enjoyed it. The Warband system I found very punishing. It was cool. I liked the horde mechanic where you're just free roaming, you don't really take much settlements, and your army is your city, basically. The only problem I had with it was one misstep and your main army is destroyed, and if your lord dies, that means your warband dies. You might keep your army, but you appoint a new lord to it, and your warband is reset back down. I believe that's how it worked. Maybe my whole army got wiped out and that's why my warband reset, but my experience with it was your warband gets reset and then your main army you've been working on the whole game has now been reset to turn 1 on you, where everyone else, when they lose one of their main armies, still has all their cities, so it just felt extra punishing to lose an army. So the rework with this was really cool, and I find it really fascinating with the warband system, because you can just muster your troops in, because I believe it's a percentage chance to find each unit when you're in a region, and then depending on the region, changes the pool, of units that you can possibly pop up. And then you can upgrade them through your tree, so you can start off with Marauders, and as they gain experience, you can move them up into Chaos Warriors, and then up into the higher ranks. So you don't have to disband units and then hire new units. You can just keep leveling up your units. And there's even a little bit of across the board where you can take Marauders and level them up, and then you can get them into Cavalry and stuff like that, which is also cool. And then you can devote them to specific gods to give them other bonuses. I just thought the whole system was really cool, and it makes the Warriors of Chaos rather unique within the game. And the Paths of Glory allowing you to ascend your... I don't think the Exalted Heroes can go up to Demon Princes, or the equivalent, that is the Lord. I don't remember if the Lord is called an Exalted Hero, but I don't believe those ones can ascend to Demonhood. I think they just do a Path of Glory and then they're assigned to one of the gods and they get bonuses that way. But Chaos Sorcerers can ascend to Demonhood and they can become Demon Princes like Be'lakor, which I found really cool in this game also.
Now it's my time.
So there's a lot of stuff with the Warriors of Chaos that is rather fun to play. New to me, so we're gonna learn together. So I would love any tips and tricks any of you like to share in the comments. We have our first mission. Defeat the army belonging to the follower faction in battle, the Sightless. This poor soul over here, with his back against a wall.
Now!
We'll throw our hero in with Be'lakor, get us some extra training, because experience is very important in the Warriors of Chaos campaign. Once we hit rank 5, we can make our Marauders into Chaos Warriors, but you can also get the Great Weapons and Halberds, so it's really nice for customizing your army to your needs that you are running into. And I believe, yeah, you can even swap their weapons over to great weapons if you needed I believe, yes, great weapons have armor piercing, so if you were needing more armor piercing, you could switch them over into the great weapons. Lowers defense, but gets you more damage, and if you're fighting heavily armored enemies, such as like the Dowie, it's rather nice to have it readily available to you early on in the campaign. And then you can also mark them. I don't know.
I am the first, the only.
Oops. I think this just affects upkeep and the such and replenishment. A lot of units require a specific brand that comes from the tech tree. Yes, this allows you to upgrade into chariots and hell striders, but that also leads to the demonic mounts that gets you the chaos knights and such. This one will probably be one that I go for early. I'm not real sure which god we're gonna try to get a brand from first to allow us to start moving our undivided to specific ones. It'll probably be... I favor Nurgle a lot, but the Zinch one giving you barriers is rather nice, so we'll see. Start off with getting our scrutiny of the dark
Shadows
ones.
clear.
We muster anyone? Yes, we'll take those marauders, get them more XP. We can also get some gifted units. We'll just take all of those.
You are mine.
Thank you. Tanked our income. But we should be taking this Dark Fortress, so it should be fine in the end. Holy Manifestations. This one is the one that we will be using a lot, as much as it allows us to, because that allows us to put our rifts down, allows us to move around the map a lot more freely, and it's not just Be'lakor that can use them. Any of your other armies can also use them, so you can rapidly deploy armies anywhere onto the map that you have a portal. I believe the only prerequisite for putting a portal down is having vision, so you can just send an agent across the map, throw down a portal, and then move your forces through one of your other rifts. It's a really cool system. I thought it was cool that they brought that over from the Realms of Chaos campaign. We'll probably... don't know where we're gonna put our first rift. And we get one for each of the gods, I believe. Yep. Melee attack charge, and it gets us some bloodletters. Nurgle gets us Nurgle corruption and plague bearers, and causes immediate damage to the target army. That's rather nice. And then some demonettes. The Cursor's Boon is definitely probably about the only one we'll regularly be using. We have to have a settlement before we can check out our gifts. Objectives, we just have that. Short-term victory, which I plan on doing short and long, and then if the campaign is still interesting to people, we'll move on to the domination victory. I do plan on finishing the long campaign and then wiping out. I believe that the long campaign requires us to do it, but I want to take out the Empire, Kislev, Cathay, and the Elves. So we want to take out the Elves, Empire, and then Kislev, and I think Cathay's over in this area. We'll want to at least take those 3 out. We'll also be taking most of the Chaos Waste because we want to collect all of the Chaos Lords that we can. Hopefully, as long as the mod does what I need it to do. Not real sure. I think it does, but nothing else with it. We'll pick up all of the other Warriors of Chaos, and then they'll give us plenty of Legendary Lords to go with our Demon Prince armies. But I believe that's everything to check out for the beginning. So we'll just go over here and deal with this poor Zinch faction that thinks they can stand up against Bellacor's might. It's definitely a decisive victory, but we want to see our army in action, so we'll go ahead and fight this one. We'll gamble that, see if we can get any more than 10. Of course not. Oh, a 1. Ooh. Alright, well, we'll start deployment.
Form on my command.
Wanted all of the Marauders together. So these guys together.
Dominate as one. Together. God Slayer.
Alright. Would not suggest this on a fair fight. This uphill battle would just be devastating to charge up on some ranged units. But I think we will be fine. Where do we want these guys? We'll just throw them behind our AV. I think the rock's in our way. Yeah, I think it was weirding out with the rock surface here. Can the hell cannon reach from back there? It can. Alright. We will throw pink horrors in here also. Actually, we'll put them guys out front so they start firing as the rest of our troops are moving up, and their barrier will eat any return fire. Exalted Hero up there. Alright. Oh, and they're coming down to us because of the mortar. That's convenient. And our test runs for this campaign, they've always just chilled up at the top, so figured I was still gonna have to come to them.
You will run.
Ooh. Poor Slanesh ones are getting beat up. I am going to get them murdered at some point on accident.
Legend of me.
Of course, we don't have enough mana to do it twice. Ooh. Hell cannon's beating up our own unit here. Worked out in the end. Got the bats off of them. Oh, we should probably limit some of our casualties here if we got everybody off of him. Just let Be'lakor beat up our exalted hero. Oh, and it opens up the range for our pink horse.
First damned.
Drop his defense.
Be'lakor.
What is his defense? $61? No wonder he was so tanky.
Shadow Lord. Exalted hero.
Yeah.
Call me Dark Master.
Surprised Be'lakor was doing much to him. Our exalted hero wasn't.
Feel the
Let's give
power.
Be'lakor some extra defense.
Spell casting.
Throw the miasma on him. Yeah, we don't have to hunt him down. It's the first fight. We'll be merciful. Probably just take the souls here. I think one of these options is souls. Nope. Favor and experience. Hoping to get some souls. We'll take the experience. Help our warband level up. Got some souls for that. Our next mission is to conquer this city. Should be able to do it still in this turn without any issue. I think I'm gonna do Dominating Presence first. I normally do Route Marcher, but I think the extra XP gain will actually be a little bit more beneficial here. Seeing as we can already reach the city, we'll get a level up off the city, and
The Dark Master.
we can reach it in this turn without the Route Marcher, so I think it'll be fine to do that first. Do training,
My prayers are
get
answered.
even more XP. These guys will be leveled up in no time.
This victory is mine. The crown of domination is
I
mine.
think, I was pretty sure, had to get a brand to be able to transform any of them.
The gods were wrong to spurn me.
We'll go over here. Like this, close victory, medium casualties. Nobody's gonna die, so I think we're just gonna let this auto-resolve.
There is no escape from the Dark Master.
Occupy and vassalize. That is the perk with the dark fortresses, is the ones that are associated with Norskins. Vassalize the Norskin associated with it, so you can build up your vassal army by just taking the dark fortresses instead of having to beat all of them into submission. Of course, there's a few of the Norskins, like the legendary lords, you can't get from dark fortresses, so those require you to actually beat them into submission, like traditionally. Potion of Foresight wants us to maintain control of this province, I would assume.
The Dark
Yes.
Master.
Get us a charmed shield. That's fairly nice. Income all buildings, local province. Growth building. Don't have the income to build
The
anything else.
first Demon Prince.
We'll do route marcher this
New
time.
abilities.
Get his blade master.
The slaughter begins.
Make sure we don't have anybody to recruit. We did unlock our gifts of chaos. We have plenty of souls, so look into getting something in. Nurglings and a Beast of Nurga. Nurglings and some Plague Bearers. Growth per region after winning a battle. All provinces. Actually, that sounds wonderful, because when we go up and hit the last city up here, we'll gift that to our vassal because it's a minor settlement. We won't get us much of anything ourselves, so bolstering our vassal will benefit us more.
Lord of Torment.
Income. Some flesh hounds, bloodletters. Income. Chariots, some demonettes, campaign movement, that's kind of nice. Ooh, that extra 15% upkeep's rough. Not that we could run it right now. Anyways, we need to sacrifice more souls to Slaanesh to unlock it. What? Take that, and most of our marauders should be... Well, I guess it takes a turn to activate, so... But we'll have plenty of marauders, so that will definitely be beneficial to us. And the +8 to attack is rather convenient also.
Godmaker.
Believe that is all we can do for this turn. Why is this still showing something new? Is it because I haven't looked at everything? Yes. I haven't moused over everything. Right.
Lord of Shadows. The Dark Master walks.
Drop. Oh, I don't have
This
enough
place is
anyways.
mine.
I was gonna put it into channeling stance, get this Winds of Magic up some, but believe that's everything we can do in this turn, so we'll pass it.
I shall be the ever-chosen. This is right.
Already got a level up on
first
Bellacord just
damned.
from our XP gains. Go for his spell line first. Really want to rush to Pit of Shades. That spell is so powerful. Ambush success chance. Does he get a later one? Yes. That's kind of nice. Been finding that I enjoy the blue line a lot more in this game than I did in the second one. The upkeep reductions are very beneficial.
The Dark Master.
It appears we have enough movement to make it over here.
Lord of Torment. The first. They shall
March on over to the Citadel of Lead. It's another decisive victory, but the Sightless are going to be wiped out after this. And it'll give us a nice ending for the first episode to see Bellacore in action one last time. So, we're gonna dive on in. Need to be mindful of their flying flying units with this Hell Cannon. Only an 8. Definitely gonna gamble that. Worked in our favor this time. Booyah. Start our deployment. With these Furies, we'll definitely have to watch our Hell Cannon. Actually, there's a nice little rock surface here. Some high ground. I think we'll pull back to here.
For the Chaos Gods! Form on my command! Dominate as one! Form on my command! Together! What a fool!
Put our fleshy troops here.
Reap their souls!
Blood. Oops. Wrong button. Wanted the blood letters. Put the blood letters here. Put the spawn behind them. Start with our pink horrors out in front here. Put them on skirmish, that way I don't accidentally leave them there. Flag bearers are going to be our rear guard for our catapults. And we're going to hide our demonettes over here for our nice little cavalry charge. Put our exalted hero leading this flank. Looks like a nice little setup.
I am a herald.
Alright.
Harbinger.
All
I bring omens of
orders,
death
so
to my foe.
just fire at that one. Ooh, nice hit. Bellacore and all of his magnificence.
I want to see piles of dead!
Lovely blood letters. Would love some name suggestions for our exalted hero.
How be hustled! Features many glories. Harvest their souls.
Get all of our troops in here. Definitely got one of our pink warriors killed, I think. Oh, wait, no, that's the barrier bar. Worried for no reason.
Eat your souls! Eat
Don't
your
need everybody over
souls!
there. I waited too long to pull our demonettes over. By the time they get here, everyone's gonna be dead. Very poorly managing this attack. Good thing it was a slam dunk. They might have had a chance of winning.
I lust in the Dark Prince's name!
And another victory under Bellacore's belt. "62 kills with the Hell Cannon isn't too bad. Only lost 73 for being my poorly executed attack. The barrier is definitely what saved my poorly executed plan. Leaned on the skirmisher setting a little too hard there. Undobjet. Power recharge? That's nice. Increases cooldowns. Not sure what that means, actually. Then we will definitely gift it to our vassal. We could have subjugated us as little Zinch faction, but I think giving the city to our Norskin will benefit us more with the two cities put together versus two factions that only have one city. Assaulted hero got his horse.
Belacor.
Unfortunate for you, I would like you on foot, I believe. Actually, no. I'm sorry, you can have your mount. Didn't realize it was only positives. I assumed his attack or something was going to drop. Let's just keep making him tankier. And more armor.
Ah, the slaughter begins. The first.
Bellicor, we are going to go for Dark Master to drop melee attack.
New abilities.
Now we can get this other building in. Probably want to go for the income building first. Get our income up higher.
Our home is manipulated.
Commandment. Chance of plague, hero recruit, recruit cost. Campaign movement, that's really only for when we're getting attacked. Local warband recruitment plus 20% replenishment chance for undivided marauders. Construction costs. Yes, we'll go for that for now.
Call me master.
Just hounds. Was exalted? Yeah. Hadn't actually seen the exalted form of that. Alright.
The gods were wrong to spurn me.
Probably gonna head on towards
I wait.
the Troll Forge. Fjord. Forge.
The
Pardon.
Dark Master
We'll
ascendant.
do one more end turn before we wrap this episode up. For as many factions to start on the board as it does, the end turn is rather quick. Granted, I believe it's been tweaked a little bit since launch, so it's not as painful as it used to be, but it is impressive what they've managed to do. Pigeon Pluck Pendant. +2 defense and an aura. Slow down flying units and weaken flying units. It's not too bad if you're fighting a lot of flying oriented enemies. Maintain 2 provinces by either vassal ownership or military allies.
The first damned.
Should be able to do that no problem with subjugating.
I was the absolute ruler of this world.
Go ahead and pop that upgrade in before we include
Lord of Torment.
some poisonous hounds. Chaos hounds poisoned. That's nice. Have our first portal act available.
They cursed me. And
But
for that they
I
will
think that
pay.
is how we're going to wrap things up tonight. At the beginning of the next episode, we'll start sailing towards the Troll Fjord, start coming after, I believe his name's Wolfric, see if we can subjugate him by traditional means, because he's one of the legendary lords, so you can't just take a dark fortress and him become your vassal. Since this territory originally belonged to the Valheims, we'll probably gift it back to them just to expand them, get them a little bit stronger, since they're going to be our main defense from Britannia.
There will be no one.
As soon as we can get an extra agent out, we will be sending our first agent out to start collecting us some demon princes. Don't know what the sorcerer does for actions, but we may go for the Chaos Shrine first. Actually, no, we'll probably go for the Fighter's Lodge, because it gets us Chaos Warriors. I believe it just means it goes into the unit pool. Yeah. I think each turn we get one Chaos Warrior. And it lowers our Warband upgrade costs when we're in the region. That's nice. Does this one do? Gives us extra favor. And unlocks the sorcerer. Actually, maybe going for a shrine first. That extra 30% income's rather nice. I'm not sure. Anyone that would like to weigh in, more than gladly share this campaign with all commoners. Just looking to do a little side role playing with Bellicor, with him ascending to be the true chaos god that he deserves to be.
This body.
But with that, I bid you adieu, and I hope to see you next time.